yeah, I'm little but I'm loud, and I think I have my voice. Good morning, Greenwood. How you doing today? Boop, boop. We are alive on National Rehydration Day. That's right. National Football Hangover Day. That's right. And National Pizza Day. So how are you doing this morning? Hey, I am Ann Eller. I am, I don't know. I have so much to talk about. I don't know how I'm going to get to it all, but I'm going to try. So, were you pleased with how the Super Bowl turned out? The Seahawks, of course, won. What was it, 29-13? I happened to tune into the last 5 minutes, and they said it was 29-13, I think it was, and they go, well, the game's not over yet. The game's not over yet. A lot can happen in 5 minutes, and they're absolutely right, but not much did happen. So, anyways, that was, and of course, then there was the Super Bowl commercials, and I really thought, I don't know about you, I really thought a lot of them were dumb. Now, I did not watch the Super Bowl. In all fairness, I did not watch the Super Bowl. I went back and tried to find and see what the top commercials were. Grubhub. I thought the Instacart one was just too stupid. That just was too stupid. Uber Eats with what's Bradley, whatever his name was. Football sells food. You know, they were okay. But, you know, I think we're getting too much into AI. I think we've lost some of the creativity that we used to have in some of the old football. I still go back to, although this would be considered AI today, Budweiser, the frogs and all of that. You know, I still like some of those old ones, but the Budweiser commercial to me was the absolute best, with the eagle, the eaglet, and the colt going through. And then the other day, and then it comes across and you just see the wings and you think he's like Pegasus. Oh, I just think that's just fabulous. But the other day I saw a shot of the eagle sitting on the side of the harness, which is what we don't actually see that. And I thought, oh. But then again, I just wonder how much AI was actually involved in that. You know, I see all these things, and I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. You know, I see all these dogs. There's this one, Coca-Doodle, and a girl with a mic is asking questions, and the dog just speaks very slowly and sad or happy or whatever, going places with mom, being left behind by mom. And I think, oh my God, if I could just get Penny to do this. And then I say to myself, oh yeah, Ann, that's not real, it's AI. So anyways, but so I don't see how you compete against that. I guess I will have a disclaimer underneath Penny. This is not AI generated. This actually, she does this on her own. Maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's what we need some of, actually, folks. We need something that tells us it's not AI, because so much is becoming AI. What do you think about that? 864-332-9355. That's 864-332-9355. Well, let's go ahead and catch the weather. I was out there with Penny. It was a lovely day out there. A little chilly, but still a lovely day out there. What's the temperature? It is 35, feels like 31. We are looking for a high today of 56 and a low tonight of 35 with plentiful sunshine. Tomorrow, see, this is how I contend that people get sick. Tomorrow, it's got a high of 74, a low of 58, high of 74. Did you get that? Intervals of clouds and sunshine, high of 74, low of 58. Wednesday, still staying nice and balmy, high of 69, low of 37, partly cloudy skies. Thursday, a high of 64 and low of 41. And on Friday, sunshines and clouds mix, slight chance of a rain shower, high of 59 and a low of 34. Low of 34. All right, so now I got to tell you about Friday. Friday is, of course, the day the Night to Shine will be going on. And I went to a volunteer meeting last night, and everybody is really excited about their roles that they play in this. Now, unfortunately, this is just for the people who are the guests for the Night to Shine. They're very special invited guests, which are people with disabilities. There'll be a good group from Burton Center and then other individuals that signed up for the program. As if you've been listening, you know that Tim Tebow has this Night to Shine, and it'll be going on around the country. Legacy City Church is doing it for the first time this year, and so they are very excited about it. And I went to the organizational, actually volunteer meeting, because I am volunteering. So I am the MC, which I am thrilled and excited beyond measure to be doing this. And so afterwards I said, so where am I supposed to be? What am I supposed to do? They're putting me outside. I don't know whether it's because of my loudness or no, it's not that. The red carpet extends outside, and as each honored guest comes in, I am announcing their name and then maybe a special interest or something they'd like the public to know about them. And then there'll be a lot of hooping and hollering for those that like the hooping and hollering. And for those maybe that don't like as much noise, there'll be a quieter entrance for them. But, and wouldn't you know, it's starting to get cold Friday night. Anyways, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have hot tea and lemon with me for this event when I go Friday night. But I couldn't be more excited to be able to announce the guests at this event for a Night to Shine. So I will, of course, be excited to tell you all about it on Saturday, provided I still have a voice. Yes, I'm kind of concerned about that, but I'm not worried. I'm going to have a good time, and it's going to be a great event. So looking forward to being the MC for this event. I've got to say, they have thought of so many avenues. They've got a respite room. They've got the sensory room. They've got the makeup and glam room. They've got all these things going on for this. Each guest gets either a corsage or a boutonniere. They'll have headphones for those that maybe that's too much noise so they can stay in the zone. They've got karaoke. They've got dancing. Food galore, they say. So it's really going to be a great evening honoring those with disabilities as such a special night to shine for them. And I couldn't be more excited to be part of that. So details to follow. I just thought it was rather humorous. Where do I go? Oh, you're outside. As the MC, it would only be right that to be on the red carpet, one should be outside. So that's where I will be, and it'll be an excellent night. I am right next to the respite tent, so I guess if I need to take a quick moment, I can go in there for a second. So looking forward to it. I understand they have about 56 special needs, special guests on Friday night, February 13th. Details to follow. All right. What else do we have going on here today? Oh, I forgot to tell you, February 9th, yes, this is the 9th, in 1942, daylight savings wartime went into effect in the U.S. Now, I didn't know that that's when that started. So since 1942, we've been dealing with daylight savings time back to regular time. I wish they would make daylight savings time. To me personally, I love having more time in the evening with more light. How about you? I just really, really, really do enjoy having that later. It really kind of depresses me when, at 5 o'clock it's dark, although it's already after 6. But I did want to bring that up. 1942 was when they first started daylight saving. Wartime went into effect, and it was because of the war to save, I guess, on electricity. So, all right, other things in the news. Nancy Guthrie, they still are looking. They were in her septic tank, looking through her septic tank, thinking that something might have been flushed down the toilet. And of course, with a septic tank, it doesn't go anywhere. So they were thinking maybe that was a possibility. I don't know. I think they're kind of grasping at straws. Although I did think it was very, very interesting that they were at Savannah Guthrie's sister Annie's house, and late at night, like, what was it, 9:30, 10 o'clock? I mean, it was dark anyways, and they were going through some parts of the house, and they removed a few things from the house. What does that mean? So that was interesting. But today supposedly is the day that if they don't pay up, and Savannah Guthrie has said that they will pay the $6 million in Bitcoin to get their mother back so that they can have some peace. It's a very cryptic message. I'm sure you probably have heard about it. I think this has to be the most gut-wrenching thing that, on a personal level, that we have had out there in a long time. And the idea that an 84-year-old woman could be the person, is the person of interest, and has just not been resolved yet. I just find it very odd. I think it's very odd. So, all right. So, what else? What else here today? There are a couple of posts that I want to talk about from the standpoint of statewide news. And we had, many of you may have noticed, if you're on Facebook, and you follow me, you may have noticed that you're getting a notification that I plan to go live at 11:30 this morning. Well, I do, but it really is to just replay the interview with, and this will not be on the radio, it will only be on Facebook Live, because I need to replay that interview since Facebook and I did not get along on Thursday morning when Lieutenant Governor was on. So I have most all of the interview recorded. I think I missed maybe a minute or so from the first, where it was just the introduction part. But most all of it is right there. So we're going to go live so that we can record the telephone call in on the Facebook Live. So if you happen to miss it and you happen to have the time and want to tune in, that's what will be going on. That's all I plan to do, is just to get that so we can have that, since we did interview Alan Wilson, South Carolina Attorney General, who was also running for the governorship. That way, if you want to compare the two interviews, you will be able to do that. Now, I tell you what, I spent a lot of time watching the Olympics. I don't know whether you did. I've talked to a lot of people, and you asked, did you watch the Olympics? Nah. I tell you what, number one, that opening ceremony Friday night was absolutely fabulous. There was, you may remember, what was it, back in, what was it, France, Paris, I think it was, that there was a lot of controversy about that one. This one was just beautiful and just really showed the level of the arts, the beauty of the area in Italy. So I was so impressed with that starting Friday night. And when they lit the torch and it just started flashing and going all around and everything, it was truly beautiful. The opera singers that sang, Andrea Botticelli and whatnot, were just beautiful and just knocked it out of the park. So I was so impressed with that. Now, as far as watching the Olympics, the figure skating, of course, was, and the free dance that they did. Some of that is so unbelievable. And of course, the United States, the figure skating team won a gold. But the individual performances of some of these, I'm going to call them artists, because they were just phenomenal. But the one that really captured, then we got to talk about Lindsey Vonn. Here she was with that torn ACL that she had blown out, a week, 10 days ago. She was good to go. She goes down and just totally catches her shoulder, I think they said, on a pole and caused her to crash. And she now has a broken leg. She was airlifted to Germany. They've done the surgery. They say she's doing fine. They're supposed to have an update later in the day. 41 years of age. I don't know. Lindsay just has been so riddled with crashes and this type of thing. And, I just had to think as I watched these Olympics, and I watched the fearlessness of some of these 16, 17, 18-year-olds out there, particularly on the high air. I am fascinated by the things that they can do in this. It's almost like skateboarding on snow, right? But it is phenomenal. Did you realize, if you happen to see any of the clips of it, that what they're coming down, the course that they're coming down, is 18 stories high. 18 stories, folks. And they are flying down these things, doing these double, triple, quadruple, flying through the air, turning their bodies, all this kind of stuff. It is just phenomenal. And to see some of them when they come down to the bottom of the run, and then they're standing there waiting for their score, and to see them promoting their snowboard, right? Making sure the name is out there, the smiles, the excitement from this. I just am fascinated by it. So the high air. Now, you might say, well, Ann, would you have done this? Yeah, I know I've told you this before. I always wanted to snow jump, to go off that ramp and go flying into the sky. I just always thought that was great. And where I am from in Maine, not far, we used to go on a Sunday afternoon. We could drive over and watch them jump off this big ramp for snow jumping. So I always wanted to do that. Well, back when I was growing up, girls could not do snow jumping. And I always was like, why? Why can't I do that? Why can't I do that? Well, they did care about women back in the day. You'll hurt yourself. Why? I can ski 45 miles an hour, 50 miles an hour. Why can't I go up there and jump off the jump? Anyways, I couldn't. And but I always wanted to do that. Today, looking at my life today, would I want to do it? No. But if anybody gave me the opportunity to drive a very fast car, I would still love to do that. But jumping through the air, not so much now. I do have a fear of falling, which brings me to my next point. How, some of these kids, they've been banged up pretty bad. They fall, all this kind of stuff. When you look at the fearlessness that they have to go down these mountains, it just amazes me. I try to think back to when I was a young person, and I was actually one of the fastest people on our mountain, and I actually did some downhill skiing, some giant slalom, and did very well because I had no fear. Today, I have a little fear. Why do I have it? Fear of falling, fear of breaking a bone or something. Back then, it's all right, I'd be okay. But I still would like to drive formula cars very, very fast out on a track. That is something that is on my bucket list of fun things to do. How about you? 864-332-9355. That's 864-332-9655. Would you like to fly through the air? That is the thing, and I've always liked the Summer Olympics, yes, with the gymnastics and everything. But I guess because of my background in skiing and skating, we used to skate. We didn't have a regulation ice skate rink. We had a solid piece of ice that would form on the common across the road, and kids would dust off the snow and have a good time doing that. So anyways, I am really high on the Olympics. I know a lot of people don't seem to be enjoying it, but I really do. And I would highly recommend that you go back and see, if you haven't seen it, the opening ceremony for the Olympics in Italy, and some of the photography and the beauty of Italy over there just is, to me, phenomenal. All right, so I wanted to mention that. We talked about Lindsey Vaughn. We're doing Facebook Live at 11:30. It'll just be like maybe a half an hour, 11:30 to 12. It is just me making sure that we get our Facebook Live on so that we can have that for in perpetuity. That's right. It'll be on Facebook, and then it'll also end up, as all our interviews do, on the website, WCRS1450am.net. Okay. Now, the Trump accounts. That supposedly was a big ad on the Super Bowl. I did actually not see that one. And you can actually sign up for a Trump account, and it's really an account to be able to, sounds to me similar to a 529 account, but it is a Trump account. They only, if a child is born during the prescribed period, will that be available for the $1,000. But people can sign up to put money in these accounts, regardless of your age, I guess up to age 18. Although at 18, I'm not sure of the advantage. But you can sign up for this and have it as a savings, some type of savings account for them. And that's, I guess, another place where you can put money to, maybe it grows tax deferred. That must be the issue. But anyways, that is good. All right. Now, also, these new Trump RX that they have started. Has anybody checked that out? Well, we have checked that out a wee bit, and you cannot be on Medicare in order to take advantage of Trump RX. Just thought you might like to know that. I had talked to somebody yesterday, or day before, I guess, and said, well, you should check out Trump RX. And it says, you have to accept these terms to get a coupon to be able to buy your drugs cheaper. And you are a resident of the United States or a United States territory. You have to be 18 years or older. You confirm that you are not enrolled in insurance from any government, state, or federally funded medical or prescription benefit programs. Examples include Medicare, Medigap, DOD, TRICARE, Medicaid, or any other state or federal medical pharmacy. Let's see. Individuals of both commercial and government-funded plans are considered a patient with government insurance. If you should begin to receive prescription benefits under any government insurance plan, you understand you can no longer participate in this program. This is truly for people that have no avenues of insurance. I will say this. I went to buy one of my, I don't have very much, but an inhaler that is normally would have cost me $647. And then on the second round, when I bought it, it was supposed to drop down to $347. And when I went to get it, actually, I waited till after January to see if there'd be any effect on it. It was actually $347. So I'm not sure what the next one will be. Will it be the same price or will it be cheaper? But there are interesting movements on drugs as far there's interesting movement on drugs, yes. So prices. So if you happen to have had any experiences like that, I would love to know, has anything changed since some of these drug prices have changed? I think there is some interesting movement. And as I said, I kind of waited till after the first of the year to get my latest prescription of this inhaler to see if it would make a difference. And it did, because I looked at the lady and I said, I know it's going to be $650. And she goes, well, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. I was like, what? She goes, yeah, it's only $347. Well, that's still a lot. But that definitely was less than what I was thinking of. She was absolutely right. So, oh my goodness. All right, we got a couple of stories on I think it's going to be interesting to see what the federal government does on ice. Will they do anything to be able to keep them from going into a not funding ICE or Homeland Security, which is part of that? I think that should be most interesting. If you are wondering where we're at on that, I don't think they know where they are on that. So, anyways, that's one issue. As far as the state, there are a couple of interesting issues that I was following here. Here's one that should blow your mind. Oh my God. In South Carolina, 16-year-olds can get married. A bill would allow only adults to wed. Well, I think it sounds like it's about time, right? Wouldn't you think we should? A bill proposed in the South Carolina Senate would limit all marriages to people 18 and older. In South Carolina, 16 and 17-year-olds can't smoke, open a credit card, or vote, but they can get married under a law some legislators and advocates are trying to change. Until 2019, a loophole in state law allowed judges to issue marriage licenses to children of any age if they were pregnant or gave birth, allowing thousands to get married over the course of 2 decades. A law passed that year made it clear. Wow. A law passed that year made it clear that only those 16 and up could get married with parental permission. But as more states do away with underage marriage altogether, some are pushing South Carolina to set a firm floor of 18-year-olds. Senate Minority Leader Brad Hutto is trying again to get a bill he's proposed during every 2-year session since 2019 past the finish line. The proposal didn't get a hearing during last year's legislative session. I think that marriage is one of the biggest decisions anyone will ever make, the Orangeburg Democrat said. It should be done by someone whose mind is fully developed. Well, then you better make it 25. No. Teenagers don't magically wake up more mature on their 18th birthday than they were at 17, said Alex Goyette with the Taha'i Justice Center, who advocates for bills raising the minimum marriage age. But 18-year-olds have more opportunities than 17-year-olds. As someone who's considered an adult by law, an 18-year-old can hire an attorney, sign other legal documents on their own. Finding an apartment is easier as finding a full-time job. So, that's really important for someone who's trying to resist an unwanted marriage or leave an abusive situation. Since Delaware, this is so ridiculous, since Delaware became the first state to set a minimum age of 18 for marriage in 2018, 15 states have followed suit, according to Washington, D.C. Nonprofit Center, which works to protect women from violence and help victims. 5 of those states did so within the past year. South Carolina is one of 20 states that allows people as young as 16 to get married. 6 states allow marriage as young as 15 or don't have any age limit at all, according to this advocacy group. The biggest challenge the advocacy group faces is time. Bills about their state's legal marrying age mainly aren't among legislators' top priorities, making it more difficult to get a hearing scheduled among frequent chaos of part-year legislative sessions. But the issue is an important one with the potential far-reaching impacts. I can't believe that I think you should have to be 18 to get married. What do you think? 864-332-9355. This has long-range effects on a person's life. Somebody that gets married before 16, that means that they may drop out of school. They may not, but they're more likely to live in poverty and more susceptible to long-term mental and physical health problems, according to this nonprofit, which is the Taha'i Justice Center. So, why would anybody? Oh, why would we? What's our legislature made up of? Mainly men. Why would we do this, men? Surely women should have the same advantages. Between 70 and 80% of the marriages that include someone under the age of 18 end in divorce. These are not the foundational lifelong partnerships that we like to think when we're talking about marriage. The Goyette from this Justice Center. In Georgia, marriage is limited to those who are 18 and older. Tennessee and Florida both have age floors of 17. But again, you can't even vote. You can't sign a contract. You are at a very big disadvantage. North Carolina has a minimum age of 16, but its law includes more safeguards, including allowing the other spouse to be more than 4 years older and requiring a judge to evaluate whether the marriage serves as in the best interest of the person under 18. South Carolina law does not include such safeguards that could prevent some unwanted marriages. As long as a minor's parent signs off, any certified official can issue a 16-year-old marriage license in the state. Until every state moves on this issue, kids across the United States are in danger. I agree. That is... Minors are just, and that is phenomenal that in this day and age that we don't have safeguards that protect young people from making stupid mistakes like getting married. All right, I'm Ann Eller. Most people that are 18 and older have a tough time keeping it in line. What are they thinking? Oh, you're dumb, you don't know anything. Yes, I'll marry you and life will go on. That is just horrible. Anyways, I'm Ann Eller. I thought that was an interesting article from our state. I also have another plea. One of our nonprofits sent me a note and said, Ann, this is really important. Could you please talk about it? And I am glad to talk about it because I do believe that it is an important one on that too. And that is cameras in the room for those with disabilities in the classroom. Too many times, we have those that are nonverbal or not able to express themselves, able to talk and say what happened. And so, please help where this person wrote, this nonprofit. Please help us raise awareness and support for this bill. This is a critical need. This is critical need, but is expensive. A state requirement would overcome the district saying they cannot afford it. This person said, I specifically know of a special needs child who was seriously sexually abused by a teacher here in Greenwood. The school district does not have cameras in their special need classrooms. The child is nonverbal, and the abuse only came out during an investigation by another state. If I understand correctly, 2 of our school districts do not have cameras. I've been told that District 50 does have these cameras. South Carolina bill proposes cameras in special classrooms. So there appears to be a lot of skeptics in it about classroom control and monitoring teachers, but we need to help people understand this could prevent abuse and trauma for our most vulnerable children. He says, I would love to see people calling our legislators and encourage them to vote for this very important safety measure. You know, this is a safety measure. How do you protect those that cannot speak? How do you protect those who may not have any understanding about it? I think that cameras, and I think if everybody knows, i.e. the teacher knows, that these cameras are there. What is the issue? It protects him as much as it does the students. The proposed state legislative leaders are considering a bill that would mandate cameras in special education classrooms in public schools. The proposed legislation comes after incidents with vulnerable students, including a case where a 9-year-old Cadence who has autism was allegedly dragged across a classroom by her wrists, according to a police report. Her mother learned about the incident through a third party and immediately took action. So, this is something. What are the bill details? The bill would require cameras wherever special education instruction takes place in South Carolina. Public schools would need to secure permission from all parents, and recordings would be archived for 5 years. Representative Mike Burns, who sponsors the legislation, said the cameras would provide clarity in disputed situations. There's an allegation that a child is being improperly restrained or secluded or threatened or physical abuse. Any of these allegations that he said, she said type things. So supporters argue the cameras protect both students and staff, particularly nonverbal children who cannot report incidents themselves. Since she can't, then there's a case about a child with Down syndrome. Since she can't speak yet, this will be able to show what actually is happening in the classroom. Whether she just fell, didn't cry, and didn't say a word, in the end, it's kind of helpful for the teacher who accidentally missed it, but also for the parents to have relief. You have to have a heart for special education. Their teaching jobs is exponentially different than a typical classroom environment and gets even more challenging the older the children get and physically the bigger they get. I think cameras in the classroom protect the teacher also. Those against the proposed questions, student privacy, camera costs, monitoring procedures, and what would happen if not all parents gave permission. So, if you would like to call your legislators and say, please pass this bill, if you think this has merit, if you had a child in a classroom that maybe your child was nonverbal, you need to think about it maybe from that standpoint. How would you feel about it? Teachers, of course, would know that the cameras were there. Yes, parents would have to sign off on it, but why wouldn't you sign off if you were making sure that your child was protected? Anyways, I think it has a lot of merit. I think it is something that people should consider as a way to make sure. Otherwise, what we have is that cases that end up way down the line, and before anything happens, this would stop that from being a case that dragged on, or the abuse or whatever wasn't found out maybe for a year, 2 years, whatever down the line. So I would ask, as this person from the nonprofit said, please ask your listeners to call your legislators. Who are our legislators? Billy Garrett, John McCravey, and Daniel Gibson are our legislators here. So if anybody needs a telephone number, please contact me, and I will make sure to give you those phone numbers on that. They are all very easy to reach, and I think that would be something worthwhile talking about. All right, so that was another one that I wanted to cover. What else did I have here this morning? I've got more. I always have more than what I can talk about. Where is it? Here we go, right over here. Just talking about the marriage bill, right? What age you can get married at. And legislators have just advanced a bill last week giving South Carolina parents more control over their teens' decisions. Right. So it seems like a no-brainer to add in the marriage thing, right, in my opinion. The bill advanced to the House floor that also lets parents sue a school if their complaints aren't resolved through written complaint and appeal process. A bill giving South Carolina parents more say over their children's education and medical decisions until they turn 18 advanced Tuesday to the House floor. The bill affirms and protects the fundamental rights of parents by increasing the age when teens can start bypassing their supervisions. Representative Heath Sessions, who leads the panel that first voted on the proposal, said in explanation, existing law sets 16 as the age when teenagers can make decisions about their health care unless it involves a non-life-saving surgery. The 14-3 vote by the full House Medical Affairs Committee included 2 yes votes from Democrats. No Republicans voted against it. So, parents have rights in the village. You've heard the phrase, it takes a village, and it really does. It takes a village, said Sessions, a Rock Hill Republican, but parents are in the village right. The bill, dubbed the Parental Rights Act, includes a list of rights for parents and legal guardians. They range from general rights of directing the upbringing and moral and religious training of their children to the specific ability to review all health and medical records and consent to all physical and mental health care decisions. However, the bill set up potential contradictions in state law on teen choices. It doesn't touch the state's compulsory attendance law, which makes parents responsible for keeping their children in school until their 17th birthday, the legal dropout age. And it doesn't seek to amend the state's abortion statute, which states 17-year-olds don't need a parent or grandparent's permission. Abortions are banned for all ages with limited exceptions past the 6th week of pregnancy. The bill applies to unemancipated children under 18, which means they're not married and a court hasn't freed them from parental control. What do you think about that? I think that's only the right way it should be, don't you? Under the bill, doctors and other healthcare professionals could provide emergency care without parents' consent if waiting puts the child at risk of death or irreparable physical injury. Paramedics could also help at the scene of an accident without trying to reach a parent. Teens may want or need non-emergency care they don't want to tell their parents about. For instance, 16 and 17-year-olds may want birth control but not want to tell a parent they're having sex. Existing state law allows teens under 18 to get birth control over the counter, but only if they already had a prescription. Emergency contraception, known by Plan B, is also available in South Carolina over the counter without a prescription for anyone 17 and older. These are so many questions. So many questions. Don't you think that including the parents necessary and vital to guide that child? Not all parents have their children's best interests at heart, Representative Courtney Waters said Tuesday. So this is another big issue that is before them. But it kind of goes along, I think, with the getting married. So I just thought I'd bring that one up. I thought that was an interesting article. And, we hear a lot about the biggies all the time. But sometimes some of the smaller things going on are of big, I think sometimes a lot more interesting than some of the bigger bills. Because you know what happens with the bigger bills? They take forever. Some of these little bills, they kind of just pass on through. Here's another one that I found interesting on the state level. South Carolina small businesses could see lower taxes on desks, computers, equipment under a House bill. This actually was happening last week. South Carolina small business owners could get a break on the property taxes they pay on office furniture, machinery, and appliances they need to operate. House budget writers unanimously on Tuesday advanced the proposal to exempt the first $10,000 worth of personal property value from appearing on small business tax bills. The vote sent the legislation to the House floor. Most likely you've already paid a sales tax, and then you have to pay a property tax for having a piece of equipment that you actually need for your business. I find that repressive. Representative Brandon Newton, the main sponsor, said, "I've always found this tax to be the most aggravating tax small businesses pay because it's on chairs, desks, computers, things they've already paid sales tax on. To qualify," God, there is a point. In my opinion, when governments become so big that all they are is looking for how much money they can get from us, it's a problem. It says to qualify as a small business and earn a full or partial exemption on a 10.5% tax, a company must have fewer than 100 full-time employees or less than $10 million in annual sales. There are a whole lot of businesses in South Carolina that only have less than 10 employees, let's say. According to the data from the U.S. Internal Revenue Service, approximately 97% of the businesses report less than $10 million in receipts annual. These companies own just 6.3% of the nation's total business assets. Large corporations make up the other 3% and hold the vast majority of assets. Newton pointed to the rising cost of inflation all businesses are facing nationwide. Small businesses need to have a break, and I think this is the perfect time to do it. If the exception is passed, fiscal analysts estimate South Carolina's 46 counties will collectively lose $9 million in tax revenue next year. Impacts range from $612,500 fewer collections for Richland counties to $14,000 less for McCormick County. So, what do you think about that? I think that it is something that the time has come. The time has come. Richland County officials suggested they would need to raise overall property tax rates to make up for the lost revenue. See, it is constantly the same thing. It doesn't matter. We are going to get you one way or the other. We may not get you for the property taxes on your stuff, your equipment, your desks, your this type of thing, but we'll charge you more property taxes. Although they're trying to do away with property taxes. And of course, then there's the income tax that they're working on. I was at the event Thursday evening where they dedicated the Shaw Law Pre-Law Society, and our legislators there were all abuzz because they had, I guess this was from the Senate, they were moving a little faster on getting different restrictions for the DUI bill. I think that's fine. I think that's good. I think it's necessary. I think South Carolina has some huge holes in how we treat DUIs, and the tools that we've given to lawyers to get people off of DUI, and the amount of deaths. I think we read that South Carolina was number one as far as deaths per thousand or whatever it was. But the bottom line, every time we turn around, taxes seem to be the issue that everybody is dealing with. And to me, it doesn't seem to matter what the federal government does. You better be looking at what your state government is doing when you're checking out where you want to live, how you want to do this. And then there's all these sneaky little taxes, like property taxes on your stuff if you're a business. So anyways, I would just say I would like to see this happen. I think it could be a good thing. But like they say, they're just going to charge you more somewhere else. I don't think we can win in this game. Let's see, what does it say? In addition to cutting property taxes, the bill reduces fees collected from startup companies on money raised from so-called angel investors and venture capitalists. The state would give businesses headquartered in South Carolina a break on fees for the first $50 million raised. The change is estimated to reduce state fees collected, that's a tax, fees on venture capital dollars by $1.7 million annually. An average of 51 companies would qualify annually, according to the data from the South Carolina Research Authority. The proposal comes as a larger debate surrounding tax cuts makes it through the State House. The Senate budget writers last month advanced a House bill measure further slicing the state's income tax rate with the goal of eventually doing away with the tax altogether. Senators made no changes to the House proposal and upped the ante with a cut of their own. This one to property taxes on primary residents of people 65 and older who've lived in their home at least 5 years. They would pay no property taxes on the first $150,000 of their home values, 3 times the existing tax break of $50,000. Property taxes don't go to the state. They're collected by counties to cover the cost of local government services. But under the Senate proposal, the state would reimburse counties an estimated $259 million for an expansion of what's called the homestead exemption. Together, these two bills would reduce state revenue by $378 million for the fiscal year starting July 1st. The House bill gives a tax break to small businesses, signed on to by 30 Republicans and 2 Democrats, doesn't provide counties a direct offset. Newton said counties are on track to receive more state aid in the coming budget. Those disbursements, however, have only increased by $2 million in each budget cycle since 2020, far less than the $9 million in reduced collections. So, how are they going to deal with this? Who knows? This is something that Newton is calling a small tweak. But I hope when we have the larger conversation in the coming years about redoing all of our property taxes, that we look at business personal property as the larger issues. So, property tax, personal tax, it's all about tax, and then there's those fees that are really a tax. Hey, I'm Ann Eller. And closing, I'd like to use this as my closing statement here today. Mick Jagger said, anything worth doing is worth overdoing. I have found that in my life. And as we all know, Mick Jagger has been an excessive person. So I find that most interesting that he said anything worth doing is worth overdoing. And in that, I would like to say you need to sign up this Saturday. We are going to be giving away this ice cream cake to one lucky winner. I had somebody last night say to me, what would I do with a whole ice cream cake? Well, number one, it is a smaller cake. It's not one of the huge ones. It's, I think, a 7-inch, and it's heart shape, and I believe it's red velvet ice cream cake. But here's the thing about ice cream cake. You can refreeze it. It's kind of like a blizzard. You know, I've gotten a blizzard before, and I was just like, I can't eat all this. You take it, you put it in the freezer, you take it out the next day, and you still have blizzard to eat. Okay, that's a good thing. Same thing with the ice cream cake. If you're getting it for yourself and you plan to eat it all yourself, or you and your sweetie, maybe you just want to say, we'll take it, we'll eat part of it, we'll put the rest of it back in the freezer and have it for another day. So that is one of the questions that I've had. What would I do with a whole ice cream cake? Eat it one bite at a time. There you go. All right, let me play this for you. Here you go. Who do you love? I wanna know. Who do you love? I wanna know. That's right. WCRS and DQ want to know, who do you love? Tell us, and one lucky winner will win a red velvet DQ ice cream cake. Plus 2 lucky winners will win small blizzards. To enter, go to WLMA, WCRSradio.com/Valentine. Fill out the form to enter. We'll draw the winner of Who Do You Love on Valentine's Day, 2/14. With love from DQ and WCRS, because love is sweeter with ice cream. So, who do you love?
Self Regional Healthcare is currently hiring for clinical and support staff positions. At Self Regional, we strive to create the best experience for our patients and our team members. We offer flexible schedules, competitive pay, and generous benefits in an environment that is supportive of your individual needs. Come see what makes Self Regional a great place to work. View our current job openings at selfregional.org/careers.
This February, let your heart decide at the Greenwood YMCA. New members will get to pick a heart and discover their special YMCA perk. Will it be a free month or zero joiner's fee? Either way, your heart wins. From group fitness and family fun to healthier habits and stronger communities, the Y is where you belong. Visit the Greenwood YMCA or join online today. The Y, there's no place like this place.
At Greenwood Pathway House, we are a Christian ministry that helps people make changes in their life so that they can overcome homelessness permanently. Helping those who are living in Greenwood or Abbeville County at the time they became homeless, we provide residents with the support and training they need to build functional lives, obtain employment, and move into their own homes. Visit our website at gwdpathway.org or call us at 223-4460 to learn how you can make Greenwood and Abbeville stronger by helping people from our area overcome homelessness.
Sign up today. You could win a Dairy Queen Valentine ice cream cake for someone you love. Just go to WCRSradio.com/Valentine with your name and who you want to surprise. Winners announced on Valentine's Day from Dairy Queen and WCRS. Oh, that's right. Well, we'll be announcing that on Saturday. And, you can, number one, if you don't want to put their date there, you just need their birthday to sign up for that. But if you don't want to put somebody else's birthday in there and you do want to put yours in there, you certainly can. If you don't want to put anybody's birthday in there, you don't have to. You'll still be entered to win that wonderful ice cream birthday cake from DQ. So it is a heart-shaped cake. It has little X and O's on it. It's really cute, and just a great way. And if you decided to do it as a family, that would be pretty cool. If you already got your plans together for Valentine's Day, and this, if you win, it's just going to be a little extra. So why not do it? How do you sign up? You can go directly to our website at WCRS1450am.net. There'll be a big pink slider that has Dairy Queen on it. Click on it. It'll say register here. Click on it. Fill out the form. Again, though, if you don't want to put somebody's birth date in there, you don't have to. If you want to put your birth date in there, you certainly can. What's the reason for doing that? Well, when your birthday comes up, DQ's going to give you a special discount on your birthday. What could be better than that? I think that's pretty cool. What about you? So that's one thing I wanted to tell you about. Also, this coming Saturday, we are going to be doing a special call-in for giving shout-outs to your sweetie. You can request a Valentine's Day song, a love song, your favorite song. You can just request a song that's special to you and your sweetie. You can add a little special note you'd like me to say when I do your dedication for you. But we always do this. It's particularly fun this year because Valentine's Day falls on Saturday and we'll be doing it on Saturday. So this is pretty cool. So what do you have to do? Just call or text 864-332-9355. That's 864-332-9355. Love to hear from you. Love for you to make a little dedication of your favorite song that you'd like me to share for a sweetie. Maybe you got one, the song you fell in love to, or maybe you've got a song saying something else. I don't know. Too long, too gone. They can be sweet. They can be a little salty. They can be with a message right here on WCRS. That'll be on Saturday from 9:30 to 12:30. Really helps me a lot if you go ahead and get that message in so that I can make sure that I have the songs on hand that you'd like me to play. So this is a dedication show on Saturday for your sweetie yourself, love God, Galentine's, I don't care. We're going to be doing it all right here on WCRS. Hey, tomorrow afternoon on Meet Me at the Diner, Mayor Brandon Smith and County Council Robbie Templeton are going to have a throwdown here for the food fight. So you're going to want to be tuned in. That's at 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Make sure you tune in for that. That, my friends, Penny goes, wrap it up, Ann, wrap it up. I want to get out of here. That is it for me. So let's cue the music. Drop the curtain right here on Facebook Live. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for tuning in right here on WCRS Radio. Let's take it away. What time is it? Bye-bye, everybody.